Tyler, that same scenario, bad leadership, how did you handle it? What did you do?
Yeah, so I think what I did, and you mentioned it earlier, is you got to look at yourself. You've got to make sure that you are not passing judgment on someone else as a leader until you really look at yourself. Am I being a good follower? Because before you can lead, you have to follow, right? And that's why a dog sledder, the leader is in the back. Like, hey, I'm guiding you from behind. I'm making sure that, hey, I'm not just telling you what to do. Like, can I follow? So you've got to go through all that. Do I have some judgment? We talked about this in the coaching episode a while ago. How do you take coaching? Do you get defensive? Am I being hyper defensive because he's critical of my play?
Agreed,
am I unfairly judging him as a bad leader? When in reality, I need to check my ego and I need to check myself. So in those scenarios, it was like, I'm like, this dude. So our tendency is like, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm not going to. But guess what? There's somebody else watching me. And then if I don't do what the leader says, guess what? I'm being a bad leader for those that are watching me from behind. Right. And so you've got to check yourself. And then you've got to understand, like, again, self-reflection is, okay, do the leader and I align in the same goal? Right. Does he just have a different approach than I do? And again, another ego check. Because if we're working towards the same goal with a different mechanism of leadership or a different delivery of leadership, okay, I've got to recognize that. And then lastly, in this situation, it's a little different because I was a practice squad guy. I couldn't go to the head coach and be like, hey, bro, hey, nobody thinks you're.
But I think that's a lot more applicable to the listener than his scenario, than Darren's scenario.
Right.
So that keep going with that because some of us are going to be in junior level positions. We can't go to management.
No. Right. Well,
because we're so far down.
Yeah. No, but what you can do is I did have access to my running back coach.
There you go.
Right.
There you
go. So the question is yes, like, hey, I want to be clear on my expectations. Yep. Am I fulfilling the expectations of me?
Awesome. That is awesome.
But that's what people don't want to do, right? They bottle it up and they just get they get negative and they get condescending and I mean you see it in the locker room all the time, right?
Yep.
You get out of a team meeting where a coach just came down on you and like, man, this dude, man, I balled out. You know, like we hear it all the time in the locker room. In the workplace, it's the same thing. You get out of a company meeting on Wednesday morning and everybody goes out like, that was a waste of time. I could be over here working. I could do, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, okay, instead of just going back and complaining and bitching, okay, self-reflect. But then if you don't actually go and clarify expectations with whoever is at access to you, yes, it may not be the CEO. It may not be the owner of the company, but who leads you? Who leads your group? Right. And then you say, okay, hey, I want to be very clear on my expectations. Right. Because here's what happens. Is if you just shut down and you just like, F this, I'm not going to do that. Okay, what good does that do you?
Yeah.
Now you're a terrible teammate.
Right.
You're not going to progress. You're not going to get promoted in your job. You're not going to, learn from those that can teach you. You're shutting yourself off and you are handicapping yourself. So that does no good. So if you don't actually go communicate, make sure the expectations are real, swallow your ego. And I love that you said it's all about ego because that's really the difference is. Because it may not be a bad leader, you just may be a bad follower.
Yeah.